All right, let's dive into a theory that is pretty mind-bending, one that connects the red dust of a dead planet to the very first spark of life, right here on Earth. This one idea, right here, is the key to this whole story. You have to forget the Mars you see in pictures today. We need to go way, way back in time, to a world that's been lost for billions of years. So, what did this ancient world actually look like? Well, the evidence that we're uncovering right now is painting a pretty incredible picture. I want you to just imagine this, a blue and green Mars, a planet where real rivers carved out massive valleys, a world where huge lakes spread across vast plains, all under a sky that was thick enough to hold in warmth and water. It wasn't just habitable, it was a perfect cradle for life to begin. And look, this isn't just some sci-fi fantasy. NASA's rovers are basically our detectives on the ground, and they've found some really compelling clues. I mean, this stuff isn't just random chemicals. Organic carbon is a fundamental building block of life. And minerals like gryggite and vivianite, here on Earth, those are often the exact fingerprints left behind by living things. We're finding hints that life wasn't just possible, it might have actually been there. And that leads to the obvious, kind of haunting question, right? If Mars was once so vibrant, basically a sibling to our own young Earth, why is it now a frozen, silent desert? The answer, it seems, lies in a catastrophic planetary failure. The story of ancient Mars isn't one of a gentle decline. No, it's a story of a great collapse, a planetary catastrophe that completely stripped a world of its potential. So the crucial difference, the fatal flaw, it all comes down to one thing: a magnetic field. Earth has this powerful, stable one that acts like a planetary force field, It deflects all that harsh solar wind the sun throws at us. Mars, it seems, had one too, but for some reason it failed. And without that shield, the solar wind was relentless, just blasting away and stripping the Martian atmosphere over millions of years. And this kicked off a devastating chain reaction. Once that shield was gone, the atmosphere just started to bleed out into space. As the air got thinner, the pressure dropped, and the oceans first froze over and then just vanished. The world that was once this perfect cradle for life transformed, step by catastrophic step, into a tomb. And this is where we take a leap, moving from established science to a really profound question. Because we can track the death of a planet's climate, but what if there was something more than just microbes? What if an intelligent civilization saw their world dying all around them? What would they have done? This brings us to one of the most audacious theories in all of science. Not a story of extinction, but a story of preservation. A last desperate attempt to send a lifeboat across the empty void of space. Now, we've all heard of panspermia, the idea that life could accidentally hitch a ride on an asteroid, but directed panspermia is totally different. It's intentional. It suggests that life didn't just stumble onto Earth, it was sent here with a purpose. Just try to imagine them watching their skies thin out, their oceans disappearing. They knew they couldn't save their planet, but maybe, just maybe, they could save the essence of life itself. So they looked across space at a young, chaotic, but promising blue marble, Earth, and they sent a message in a bottle, not with words, but with the very code of life.
What's so wild is that this theory connects back to a genuine mystery right here at home. Some scientists call it the biological Big Bang. Life on Earth didn't seem to struggle for eons to get started. As soon as the planet was stable enough, boom, complex chemistry was happening. Why so fast? Well, maybe it's because the software was already written. The seeds had already been sown.
So if the seeds of life, or maybe even its guardians, made it to Earth, would they have left any trace? You probably wouldn't find it in the fossil record. You'd have to look somewhere deeper, in our myths and in our very DNA.
It's absolutely fascinating. Almost every ancient culture on Earth has a core myth about powerful beings descending from the heavens to give humans wisdom, technology, or civilization. You have the Sumerian Anunnaki, the Egyptian star gods, the feathered serpents of Mesoamerica. I mean, could these all just be metaphors? Or could they be a distorted, fractured memory of an actual arrival?
This simple shift in perspective, it changes everything. It reframes the entire story from one of powerful gods to one of desperate survivors. A remnant of a Martian civilization following their lifeboat to its destination, trying to guide the new life that they had helped to seed.
And just look at our own history. It's not a smooth, steady climb. It's marked by these sudden, inexplicable leaps. Around 50,000 years ago, we suddenly started creating art and thinking in symbols. Then 10,000 years ago, agriculture just appears almost overnight in multiple places that had no contact. So what if these weren't just random sparks of genius? What if they were reboots, little nudges from the survivors of a forgotten world?
This brings the entire story full circle, right into our present moment. After a millennia, the cosmic loop may finally be closing, as the children of Earth are finally looking back toward their ancestral home. Think about what we're doing right now. Our rovers are crawling across the Martian dust. Our orbiters are mapping its ancient shorelines. We say we're searching for alien life, but if this theory holds any water at all, we're actually searching for the very first chapter of our own story. We're searching for our origin. And this is the profound takeaway. Our two worlds may not be two separate stories, but two acts of the exact same play. The tragedy of Mars may have been the very thing that made the triumph of Earth possible. We might just be their legacy.
So that leaves us with this incredible question to chew on. If we are the inheritors of a legacy that crossed the void of space, what's our responsibility to that legacy? What do we do now? When our sun begins to age, when Earth's skies eventually fade, will we look outward once more? Not just to survive, but to continue a cycle started eons ago, to become the ancestors we may have once had, to carry the spark of life not just back to Mars, but out into the galaxy, planting the seeds for the next world and the next. The story may have begun on Mars, but the ending, well, that's up to us to write.